it's just a lot of fun. It carved out an hour a day or a couple hours a week, I would say, that was me time. And I could be with my friends and I could get on stage and we could laugh and dance and sweat and just do it all at once.
Are you an RV person? Or are you just RV life curious, wondering how people live in a tiny space with their family 24/7? Either way, this is a podcast for you. My name is Kate White, and I travel full-time with my family and 2 kids and the dog in an RV. Every week, I sit down with a fellow RV woman to learn why she chose RV life and how she has changed on the road. Pull a chair up to the fire and let's chat. Hello, my friends and fellow RV queens. This is Kate White, your host, coming at you from an Airbnb bedroom because our camper, yet again, is getting repaired. Hopefully this time it sticks. This time we came right to the heart of RV world, Elkhart, Indiana. And by golly, this camper is getting fixed by the big guns instead of, the dealer located in Florida. So cross our fingers that everything will be resolved this Friday. Okay, enough about me. Today, I got the chance to talk with my friend, Jenn Ammond, and it was kind of fun for me to interview one of my friends. And she used to be a public school teacher, has a wealth of knowledge, obviously, on schooling and teaching. She challenges some ideas that a lot of RVers have about the traditional school system and public schooling. And I really like her perspective that she brings about public school, to be honest, and her experience and how it's actually a really good thing for some kids. So I really enjoyed this conversation. I think you will too. Let's get into it. Hello, Jenn, and welcome to the RV Queens podcast. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. It feels really funny to be interviewing you because we're friends, outside of this. So it feels extra weird, but we're just going to roll with it. First of all, because this video is being aired on YouTube, would you like to share with the class what happened to your lip and your eyebrow? Because you have these little cuts right there.
Yeah, I used to look different than this before the accident. So I had a fall, literally a fall. I was at the doctor's office with my husband and we were both giving blood and my turn was over. And I was sitting on the doctor's table waiting for him to finish. And I got hot and sweaty and I blacked out and I hit the floor in the doctor's office and I busted my lip open and cut my eye and had a bunch of stitches. So.
How long were you out?
Oh, just a couple seconds. TJ came, picked me up, and he was shaking me, and I woke up. But
so was he hooked up to the giving blood stuff, and he came over to your rescue, and it ripped out of his arm, or was it less traumatic than that?
She literally had just pulled the needle out of his arm, and he was still bleeding everywhere.
Are you
it was
serious?
Quite a scene. Gross. It was quite a scene. Yeah.
That was the most excitement that doctor's office has seen in a long time.
Yep.
Oh man, that's funny. Cool.
I can laugh about it now, but it was
right. I'm sure in the moment it was really freaky. Where are you guys at right now?
We're at Indiana Dunes State Park.
Oh, nice. Is that a good one?
Yeah, we're having a good time.
Did a storm come through today? Because I'm 2 hours from you, and we just had a psycho storm.
Actually, we missed most of it.
Oh.
Just a little bit of rain.
I'm excited to chat with you today, especially to get your perspective on homeschooling and stuff. And the reason is you were a public school teacher for 12 years. That is incredible. Yep. What grades did you teach during that time?
I taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade.
Oh, nice.
I was in 2 different districts.
And you have 3 kiddos. And you are now homeschooling them because you guys full-time RV. Are you I'm going to ask you more later about your homeschool approach, but I just have to know, do you focus on math a lot since you were a math teacher?
Yeah. I love math. That's my passion. I'm kind of teaching myself how to teach reading.
Yeah.
So, I feel very comfortable teaching math, but teaching myself how to teach reading, especially to my kindergartner.
Yeah.
Who's learning how to read. So there are lots of new challenges with homeschooling. but it's exciting, and I'm happy to have this time with my own kids. I spent a lot of time teaching other people's kids, and now I get to pour into my own. So
okay, well, let's take it back to you were still a school teacher. And then I don't even know what TJ used to do. Paint the picture for us of like how RV life started for you. What like were you guys living in a normal regular house and then you decided to live in an RV for some reason, or tell us how this all began for you.
So 2020 I was pregnant with my third, and we went to an RV show and we were looking for RVs, and we thought, okay, this sounds fun. So we bought one. And then 2020 of March, Quinn was born, and also COVID shut down the world. So we didn't know if we were actually going to buy the RV. And they called us in May and they said, it's time to come pick it up and pay for it. And we had to think about it for weeks on end if it was the right choice to do or not. We prayed about it and we were just like, yeah, I mean, we're going to try it. So we got our first RV. And we did the weekend thing. Every weekend in the summer, we just went to local parks and stuff, and we had a blast. And we just really fell in love with camping. What came next was the frustration of, why do we not know where we're camping and what the campsites look like? So that's how we started our business. And then the business led us to jumping into full time.
What was TJ doing before you guys, like in the middle of that, when it was COVID and you bought the RV? And I assume you were still teaching, or were you on maternity leave then with Quinn?
I was on maternity leave, but we were doing online teaching. So I went back from maternity leave for a little bit and I was teaching online. And then actually that whole next year, I was an online teacher. So I saw my students kind of like we're seeing each other right now. So, and TJ had his own consulting business. He sold like security cameras. He was already self-employed.
Okay, gotcha. So he was kind of used to the self-employed life. And then you guys had a great idea about, why aren't campgrounds recorded and videoed so people can get an idea of the campground first? And then you decided somewhere in there, hey, let's try out this business and pack up our 3 kids and live in an RV. I'm curious to hear, like, it was this like big life change type thing characteristic of you and your husband, or like how did your friends and family react around this?
Well, the first year of the business, we were at home in a house, and we thought that our business would just be a hobby that helped pay for our camping fun. And our first 2 customers were in Arkansas, and then a third in Tennessee, and then one in Ohio. We started talking about it and we're like, well, this isn't fun anymore. If you get to travel and I stay home with 3 kids and go to work every day, this isn't what the hobby was supposed to be. So then the hobby turned into our passion, and we said, well, if we're going to try it, we're going to go all in. And all in meant selling the house and homeschooling and me quitting my job and all of that. So characteristic of me? No, not at all. Our family and friends were quite shocked. We both live 10 minutes from both of our parents in the same small town, high school sweethearts.
Oh my gosh.
Packing up and leaving was quite the thing.
Oh man. Did you have any like naysayers, or were people that, were close to you supportive?
Yeah, people close to us were supportive because they knew that if they were close with us to begin with, that we would stay close with them. And yeah, I feel like there were comments like, well, how long is this going to last? Mm-hmm. Do you really want to teach your kids? Do you really want to be with them all the time? And, those questions can hurt. But you learn a lot about yourself in the process. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Right. Is it worth it? Yeah, we think so.
And you also learn a lot about the people asking the questions whenever they say things like that. Right. Okay, so what are each of your roles in this business that you guys are running now from the road?
My husband, TJ, is more the face of it. So he's the sales and he's the networking guy, and he does all of that. I help on the back end, like I do the finances, and I do the social media, and I help with all the other marketing stuff. Both help with the software. So we both have pieces and parts of building the virtual tours, and he's the one that's out there filming if we're on site.
Okay, so tell me, what does your daily life look like when you're like, you have a business that you're running, you're a mom of 3, and homeschooling and travel planning and all of this? Do you guys kind of have a routine that keeps things feeling every day kind of feels, there's a sense of normalcy, or are you more fly by the seat of your pants, or how does it work for you?
I feel like it changes. It comes in waves. We thrive on routine, so we try to stick to that, like homeschooling in the morning, get done with homeschooling by lunch, and then the afternoon we can have time with the kids to go play or explore. And TJ works in the morning, and then I help him work in the afternoon. And then there's a lot of late nights. I mean, running your own business, raising your kids all at the same time, it's put in a lot of hours.
So you drink a lot of coffee too, is what I'm hearing?
Yeah, we do like coffee.
Your approach to homeschooling, I'm really curious to hear, because you were a teacher for so long. Here's my assumption. You're like structured and you really have your act together and you have a curriculum and you homeschool your kids all year long and stick to a routine. Tell me where I'm wrong.
I would say I fall into some of those categories. To be honest, myself going through public school, going to college to become a teacher, and then going directly into teaching other people's kids for 12 years. This past year, I have had to unschool myself a little bit to let myself understand that learning bell to bell isn't how it has to be. Yes, we use a curriculum because I want to have a pretty solid foundation on the standards that I'm teaching and the material that I have to cover. With my background in education, I feel pretty confident in filling in the holes and adding to that. But yes, I do like to use a curriculum because I taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. I haven't taught kindergarten before. This is something very new to me. So I like having the textbooks to go with that, and then adding in the fun things that I know that students enjoy.
Do you still have that teacher side of you where you like to decorate a little bulletin board and like print out worksheets and stuff?
I do. I would say that was me for the first half of my career. I was so into all of that as a elementary, intermediate school teacher. The worksheets, the pens, the markers, the crayons, the decorating, all of that stuff. And then I had my own 3 kids. And it wasn't, I couldn't put all my passion into that because at the end of the day, I still was going home to 3 of my own kids who I needed to pour into. So my career just really changed like that. And I feel I'm happy about homeschooling because I can keep the parts of it that I love, and I could let go of the parts that I didn't love.
So I've met a lot of RV families who, homeschool from the road, obviously, and have become really disenfranchised with the public school system. And like on social media and stuff, kind of like speak against the public school system. And I can understand why, because of hearing some of their experiences and their kids' experiences and stuff. But I'm really curious to hear your perspective on, you worked in public school systems for a long time, and now you've homeschooled and are able to have that like focus time with your kids and learn with them and all that. So what are your thoughts now on public schools?
Public schools are great. I mean, there are people there who are there to teach and love on the kids. And for some kids, that is the best place they can be. And I can say that I was in a district where school might be the best place they have during the day. To be the teacher in the classroom who they're excited to see and willing to learn from and grow, that's really, really fulfilling. The other things that you speak about with people who are speaking against public schools, there are issues. There are issues everywhere. And everybody's going to have their own perspective. I'm just getting my feet wet in homeschooling. So I'll have to expand on that answer a little bit more later.
If you guys like stopped full-time RVing today and went and lived in a house and kind of like resettled back down, do you think you'd put your kids back in school, or would you continue to homeschool?
I'm not sure. And I think it would change as they get older. As they're in middle and high school, the courses get harder and the stakes are higher, and you need to have a great GPA to go to college and all those things. So I still think public schools serve a great purpose for a lot of kids.
That's good stuff. Good perspective. I don't hear that a lot in RV communities. So I really appreciate that. Okay, so I learned about one of your not so public talents around a campfire when we met at Thousand Trails Orlando last winter. I found out you are a certified jazzercise instructor And not only did you tell us this, you actually led a class for like, I don't know, 15 women the next morning after the campfire. And it was awesome. Okay, so since you're an instructor and you also told me once that like you used to be a dancer, I have to assume that fitness is just kind of like part of your life. And I'm curious how you integrate that with everything else you have going on and living in an RV and traveling. How does fitness factor in?
First of all, I love how excited you are that I'm a jazzercise instructor.
That's so awesome.
We have to do another one of those classes.
Yeah, I agree.
So how I got into jazzercise is actually a funny story. After college, I wanted to find an exercise that I was like really interested and intrigued by, and I couldn't find anything. I mean, I danced my entire high school and college career, and I was like, well, what do I do now? And so my mom signed me up for jazzercise, and we went to class together, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was awesome. Dance aerobics, it's just a lot of fun. And so I decided to become an instructor so I could get up there and teach, because I'm already used to teaching. So why not? It's just a lot of fun. It carved out an hour a day or a couple hours a week, I would say, that was me time. And I could be with my friends, and I could get on stage, and we could laugh and dance and sweat and just do it all at once. How I jazzercise now? Well, when I go home, I get to teach at our local studio and go to classes with my friends back home. But on the road, I do jazzercise on demand. They have like a subscription service, and they have classes that you can just turn on and do whenever you want. So I try my best to do that in the morning. And is it as fun by yourself? No. It's much more fun with 15 friends there to do it with, but it gets the job done.
Do you do it inside? Like, is it like shaking the camper as you're like doing your exercises?
No, my husband kicked me out a long time ago. I tried that once. He was like, "You need to go outside." So we bought a little clam, like a pop-up tent that I can. Yeah. That's my studio.
That's so cool. I love it. Do any of your daughters have a propensity for dance?
They all like dancing, but they started dance class young, and they weren't really into it. But we have started my oldest has started a dance class on OutSchool. Okay. She thinks that's pretty cool. So to have a teacher like going over a choreographed routine that they practice each week, and that's filling her cup for right now.
Yeah, and I was going to ask how you encourage that on the road. So OutSchool, that's a great idea. And they also have like gymnastics, and they have a lot of stuff there too. So good stuff. Okay, so when you think back to Jenn before RV life and before you were a homeschool mom and you were just a public school teacher and you had, kids at home and long days and stuff, and you think of yourself now, how would you say you've changed over the past year here?
I would say this year has helped me to become more relaxed. It's taken a lot of stress off the plate, because I get to be mom all day, not just the last 2 hours of the day. And that's probably one of the things that I'm most happy about, is that I get to spend this time with my kids that I didn't think I was going to get to. I was always kind of jealous of moms who took time off for maternity leave and like took a year off to be home with their kids. And I always went back right after each of my babies was born. And I just think I'm getting this time now, and I'm appreciative of it.
I always felt that way too, because I was our breadwinner when I was having babies, and it was like that, the transition back after maternity leave is like so heartrending. At least it was for me. I think, some women are like, please get me back into the office. But I think most women, it's like a really hard transition. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's like I feel lucky now too, being able to spend so much time with my kids, because they're probably going to remember it more, than they would have when they were wearing diapers. So it's good stuff. Is the RV life what you expected it would be? Like back before you were full-time, obviously you guys were weekenders, and you knew a lot of like probably how the RV mechanics and technical stuff worked. But now that you're full-time in it, is it what you thought it would be?
In a way. And I feel like living this close in a space with 5 there's 5 of us in our family. There are moments when you just need to take a break. You need to go on a walk. And I feel like we're all learning that if we need a break apart, that's okay. There are challenges with, route planning, and then things come up, and then there's bumps in the road, and you don't know, you have to pivot, and all of a sudden you lose a tire, and like all this kind of stuff is thrown at you. But like the day to day functioning as a family, just living in a smaller space, it is what I thought it would be.
Okay, I have one more question for you, and then I'd love for you to share where people can connect with you guys online and also check out your business. So the slogan for this show is a podcast about unexpected riches. So what is the unexpected richness that you have found from RV life?
I would say the unexpected richness is that we get to spend this much time together as a family and just grow to know each other deeper, learn more about my kids and who they are and who they're becoming. And this is time that I didn't think that I was going to get without interruption. And we're happy to have this moment in time and to connect with us and follow along with our family. We're learning as we go on Instagram and Facebook. And then our business is Campsite 360. We're on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok, and also we have a website.
I didn't realize Campsite 360 was on TikTok too. I got to go look that up. And just a quick note to follow your handle on Instagram, Learning As We Go. It's learning.as_we.go. Did I get that right?
You have me guessing it. I don't even know. I thought it was learning.as.
It took me a minute to find you the first time. I looked you up, but Learning As We Go. We'll find it. Okay, well, thank you, Jenn, so much for being on today. I love this conversation and every conversation with you. And we are hopefully, fingers crossed, going to see you in Wisconsin in a few weeks here. So I will see you on the road soon. Thanks for listening to the RV Queens podcast. If you would like to be on a guest on the show, click on the link in the show notes to the guest application. And if you would also please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like the video, that would help us out a lot. Thanks a lot, and I will see you on the road. It's good stuff.